Hello everyone, my name is Veritas and welcome back to Destiny 2. Now today is Friday, Xur Day. That means that Xur, an exotic merchant, is somewhere in Destiny 2. This week he's on the EDZ in the Winding Cove. Down here on your map, head to the EDZ, go to Winding Cove, and then you can find Xur by just looking for him. I'll take you over to where he is, show you the pathway up to him, the easiest path to him, technically, and we'll look at what he's got in store for us this week. So hop on our sparrows and head up here to where you can get to him. He's up here on the side of a cliff being weird because Xur things. There's a little cave entrance right here. This is the, I guess, appropriate route to get to him. You just head through this cave system and boom, you're up there. You can jump up here a multitude of ways, but that's probably the way you're intended to. So this week he's got some interesting stuff, some repeat items, but for the most part, some decent gear. So this week he has the Vigilance Wing Exotic Pulse Rifle, very useful, especially since Iron Banner is next week, trials every weekend. This is a PvP-focused pulse rifle. It does function in PvE. You still get these perks to activate in PvE, but it's, designed to be a crucible weapon. Harsh Truths is the intrinsic perk here. This weapon fires a 5-round burst. When a nearby ally is killed, you gain health regeneration and increased movement speed. So this does proc in PvE and PvP. You don't even have to be in a fire team for this to work, just random people in patrol with you, and the random auto-match-made members of your fire team in the Crucible will trigger this perk to activate. So pretty useful there. It also has Last Stand, improved weapon performance when its wielder is the last living member of a fire team. This I couldn't figure out. I'm assuming this works if you're in an actual fire team as opposed to just random people nearby, so that requires, further nonsense. And as always, Xur's items all have legendary mods on them, so this gets 270 with the weapon attack mod down here. Moving into the Hunter Exotic, the Foe Tracer, second time he's had this helmet in his run. Relentless Tracker is the intrinsic perk here. Visually marks targeted enemies, deals more damage to low health marked targets. So what this does is as a enemy's health gets lower, you do increase damage once they drop below a threshold. It's about 20% of their total health. So if you're running around in patrol, say, and you find a servitor in a public event, you can kill it pretty quickly because if you, say, use a Merciless on it, like the last few shots of the Merciless will trigger this and it will just kill it. This works well for heroic public event bosses. Pretty much anywhere you can find an enemy to shoot, this will activate on their health pool getting low enough, and it allows things like fusion rifles to do critical damage, which is pretty interesting. So very useful helmet. I recommend picking this up if you don't have one yet. Super useful for certain things, and it's not subclass specific, which makes it even better overall. The mod on this is Energy Bracket mod, improves weapon handling for energy weapons, so not a great mod, but at least it's got something on it. Moving into the Titan Exotic this week, we have the Insurmountable Skull Fort. This is actually way better than I thought it was. I ran around with it earlier. Transfusion Matrix kills with arc melee abilities trigger health regeneration and restore melee energy. What this means is if you're running around on the Striker subclass and you shoulder charge something with a charged melee, it regens your melee instantly and triggers health regeneration, so it's super useful. I was having a lot of fun with this just because you could constantly, fully shoulder charge things. It was very, very nice to run around in a public event with this, so I recommend picking it up. It also comes with a arc impact mod to regen arc melees faster. You might think this is kind of useless if the, perk says it auto-regenerates, but if you, don't kill something with that shoulder charge, this allows you to get your arc melee back faster, so it helps you get back to being able to use the intrinsic perk. So super useful there. I recommend picking this up if you don't have one yet. If you're a Striker main, or you just want an exotic for your Titan, go ahead and pick this up. Like I said, it works specifically off the Striker subclass due to arc melee abilities. It's good. It's very, very good. And the final exotic this week, we have Nezarec Sin. This is a Warlock helmet, one that I've been using since I got it early on in Destiny 2's life cycle. Abyssal Extractors is the perk on this. Void damage kills increase ability energy recharge rate. Now this doesn't just mean void abilities, this means all void damage based kills. So any weapons that do void damage, any abilities that do void damage, all increase ability recharge rate. It's very useful. You can chain things together. Basically, if you go into a strike or a public event or a patrol, anywhere you can kill stuff, and you just chain void-based kills with like an energy weapon or a sword, say, you just recharge your abilities constantly. It's very, very useful as a passive Voidwalker exotic. You don't have to be really actively doing anything specific. Just, have a void-based loadout and go to town, and it's super useful. So I recommend picking this helmet up if you don't have it yet. Very good for just overall Voidwalker subclass usefulness. This comes with a energy bracket mod to improve handling for energy weapons, so kind of feeds into the whole use a void, secondary there and have fun with that. Very, very useful helmet overall. It's good. It's good. I recommend picking it up. So overall, he has some pretty useful things. Vigilance Wing is more of a PvP focused weapon, so I recommend picking this up if you want something interesting for the Crucible, especially for Iron Banner next week. It might be fun to mess around with this if you're going in with a pre-made team, or just in general. This, the perks here do proc off of the random match-made teams, so very useful if you want to run a pulse rifle. Foe Tracer is incredibly useful for PvE. It also impacts PvP, but not as noticeable as it could. But the tracking is kind of nice for a passive ability on subclasses that don't usually have that. Insurmountable Skull Fort, like I said, very fun for just chaining arc melees over and over, getting health regen. And it also has a mod that helps you get your melee back if you don't kill what you hit. And Nezarec Sin is an incredibly useful Voidwalker helmet. Every Void-based kill will trigger increased ability recharge rate, and that's incredibly useful for just constantly having Void stuff going off. So a very useful lineup here in Xur's inventory. I recommend picking up all of it if you don't have it yet. There's not a wrong choice here with his stuff. There's something for everyone this week, which is very nice. Good week for Xur up here on this cliffside. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, really much appreciated. And as always, until next time,